Criminal defense attorney Phil Holloway is here. Phil, good morning to you. There may be a witness first here, but on a short period of time. You know what's at stake. Would you do it?
Good morning, Bill. Yeah, I think in this particular case, he has to testify. As you remember, the prosecutor did a very good job of discrediting his alibi. He said he wasn't even there at those dog kennels, but of course, that video has surfaced, which witnesses have said contains his voice. Only Alex Murdaugh can rehabilitate that alibi. If it can be done, he has to testify. Otherwise, he is sunk. The case is over. So that's his only chance. Now, this whole thing about limiting the scope of cross-examination, I don't blame the lawyers for trying that because it makes sense. You don't want the jury to convict somebody based on other things. You want them to convict, if they're going to do it, on the merits of this particular case. However, you don't get to have it both ways. If you're going to testify, you're going to be cross-examined about everything that's relevant in the case, Bill.
Okay, so the judge is Clifton Newman, and as Murdaugh was standing in front of him, he told the judge, I'm going to testify. So what's going to happen? In all likelihood, it'll happen within an hour, maybe less than that. As we await for that, Phil, a couple things. You talked about this kennel where the murders happened. There was a Snapchat video that was on his son's phone. And you're right to say that Alex Murdaugh is the only one who can clarify his presence based on that video. How does he make his case?
Well, he's had an advantage, Bill, that other witnesses don't have. He gets to stay in the courtroom. He gets to hear all of the other witnesses testify and see all of the other evidence that comes out. The regular witnesses have to wait outside the courtroom. They cannot be present. So he gets the added benefit of hearing what they have to say, and he has days and days and days to perhaps think about how he wants to craft his testimony. I really don't know exactly how you can explain away that video. All he can do is basically say, look, it wasn't my voice, I wasn't there. But ironically, the jury is going to be hearing his voice as he utters those words, and they will be able to compare his voice in the jury room when they have access to play that video again.
Yeah,
so
but
it's like a double-edged sword.
It's tough, with this time frame. There's a timestamp on that video. We'll see how that plays out here in a moment. Another claim. The defense is arguing that his dead wife was 5'2" and Alex is 6'4". Therefore, he could not physically have been able to fire that weapon. I guess you could buy that, or he could have been on his knee.
That's a head scratcher to me too. I'm fairly familiar with firearms and rifles, and I don't know how you can make the claim that someone who is 6 feet tall could not fire a rifle at someone who's 5.5 feet tall. That's a bit of a head scratcher to me. Alex Murdaugh has the opportunity here to make or break his case. It's a Hail Mary, but he has to do this, Bill. If he doesn't testify on the basis of the circumstantial evidence alone, he is sunk. And I imagine his best hope right now is to try to get a hung jury, because I don't think you're going to get 12 people unanimously to say that he's not guilty at this point.
Phil, stand by. We're going to bring you back here, okay, as we get ready to watch this shortly in South Carolina.